If there was one word to describe season 2 of the Eminence Shadow, it's fresh. Our favorite edgy inner child Cid never fails to deliver. You know what they say about sequels? Trash. Or just not really living up to the hype that season 1 set. Season 1 is amazing. Do not get it twisted. It's the reason why we are still here watching this anime. But season 2 built upon everything great about season 1. Arcs have crescendos into plot climaxes. Those arcs crescendo into bigger plot climaxes, and seasons crescendo into the story's eventual ending. We are in the midst of a major plot twist and it's still to be determined how it'll turn out. However, enjoying season 2 is like literally enjoying ass titties. They brought new characters that became extraordinary contributors. It built upon existing characters to put them in a new position that we haven't seen them in before. It continued its incredible comedic irony where it'll have you feeling gross, devastated, and laughing all at the same time. Only an anime like the Eminence Shadow can blow your mind like this. So for this video, let's discuss why season 2 of the Eminence Shadow is GOAT. We're going to break down the highlights of what was best about the 3 main arcs. So obviously guys, there's going to be spoilers and I totally recommend you guys to watch this anime. If you love comedic irony and you love humor, you're gonna love this anime. So the first arc out of the season 2 opener started off with a bang. It makes total sense to end season 1 where they did with Shadow fighting Iris and Beatrix. If they do this arc in season 1, it might have taken off some of the edge of this banger start. In the Shadow versus Iris and Beatrix fight was a good ending to that season. This arc was the definition of fresh. Claire had a major role, which ended with her having her own character development, which will likely lead to another important arc down the line. Seeing 664, 665, and 666 do all these fun little things, have interactions, led by Beta, is something that is also new and fresh. It's fun seeing Beta be the pick-me archetype, but this arc continues to build upon her character. She was the pick-me, then she was undercover as the threesome with Rose, Alexia, and herself as Natsume. We got to see her actually lead and fight on her own. Of course, this is all due to the comedic irony of our boy Shadow. The main villain ain't here. I'm out this bitch. With Claire and this vampire hunter and Mary, it was fun seeing them get their ass handed to them by this giant brute. Equal opportunity violence is so damn sweet. Thanks, Claire. Of course, there is Shadow for an NPC. He couldn't help but hear the best Eminence lines come out of Mary's mouth. Mo, jikan ga nai. This is a peak moment for your edgy OP MC. Remember, jokes comes in threes. Quentin and Goldie, Skell and Poe, they are the comedic relief as they should be. Episode 3 was an incredibly exciting episode. Beta, 664, 665, 666 get their asses handed to them. This is the first time seeing Shadow Garden absolutely terrified by a villain that is said to be stronger than Alpha. Beta's face is absolutely stunned, and it might have been the first time when we get to see the allure of Shadow Garden's OP-ness gets challenged. Then you had a big twist in Aurora. She makes an epic comeback with further down the line plot implications and busts our load with an I am atomic. Fight scenes are short, but we all last under a minute anyways. And the Shadow entry was also amazing. He spit some classic cliche lines while at the same time coming in right at the right time in classic shonen style. And we get to see the fight climax finish within a minute. And that arc finished with Claire having some weird things happening to her body, which will probably be a plot down the line. So from the end of season 1 to the beginning of season 2, these are 2 back-to-back very epic kind of arcs. So what is new and fresh about this next arc? This is the John Smith corporate espionage arc. These are the best kinds of arcs because of the betrayal, especially when there are OP characters involved, and the themes were so much more realistic given a lot of what's happened in the economy because of the virus and all the weird things our government does, the economy collapsing, inflation. You gotta love satire and parody when it mimics so close to real life. Of course, you have the comedic irony of him wanting to create his own Mitsugoshi when he already technically owns Mitsugoshi. So that sets up for another classic ironic plot. We got John Smith and Yuki Mei counterfeiting money to collapse the economy so John Smith can walk away with all that cash except, give me my money. This led to the most in-depth emotional scenes. So you had Alpha versus John Smith. The lead up to this fight was a doozy. Delta is dead. Not really, but Shadow Garden doesn't know that. Once Alpha goes to confront John Smith, the key word here is devastation. It doesn't get any more emotionally in-depth than this. This is the first real moment where you feel tremendously bad for one of the most popular characters in the show. Some might say the top waifu of the show. She's literally the top waifu for Cid, as she's literally done everything for him. After he saved her from the demon possession, she literally created an underground civilization. She recruited all of these people. She's always there for our boy Cid. That is like a true wife right there. The utter agony and deep betrayal you feel from dedicating a majority of your life to this person and is suddenly for naught. For the first time, this is the viewer's turning point in how one might perceive Cid. From fun edgelord with the comedic irony oozing out your slime to fuck this guy. This is by far my favorite moment in all of season 2 because of the emotional depth it provides to the comedic series like the Eminence and Shadow. The feelings and emotions elicited from a story like this, it's peak art. To make the audience care and jerk how you feel around is great writing and execution from the creators. All of that frustration from John Smith versus Alpha is absolute peak. But it has to end with the Eminence and Shadow's secret sauce, comedic irony. As the outcome of John Smith's decision aligns with how it all works out in the end anyways, which makes him not completely a terrible person, and he still gets his money. Or not. Where's my money? Where's my precious? As this arc concludes with Gatan and Yukime and John Smith saving the day, this leads to the final arc of the season, which is heavy main plot, the cult's Mordred, perv asshat, banging her mom, and the ultimate plot twist all happen in this arc after a peak arc of betrayal, corporate espionage like John Smith's arc. It's clear that it's going to be hard to top that arc. So through Cid, the writer clearly understands that something new needs to be introduced. Cid needs to find out what his next Eminence thing is going to be. So the arc starts off with literally everything that is great about this anime. Marie, who was saved by Shadow in season 1 from her whole life, Marie brings this tragedy from escaping the whole life. Cid does his NPC joke, he does his vigilante Shadow stuff, he misjudges what Rose's intentions are. All of this eventually leads to the incredible plot twist introduced by Mordred. The developments of Rose Oriana is a perfect example of the show's capability to create all these characters that develop in multiple facets over time. From classic student president to Princess Oriana life, to killing her dad, to joining Shadow Garden, to beefing with 559, saving her mom, to finding out her mom's back is being blown out by perv asshat, to finally becoming that tyrannical queen Rose Oriana. Season 2 did quite the number on Rose. As a great plot point, bringing 559 to give this competing dynamic with Rose was new and fun. She brings that albedo vibe to the squad. The plot turning into Rose joining the cult to save her mom was a significant twist as well. Then all of the hilarious comedically ironic things happened again. You had the comedic irony of Rose not being tyrannical, yet Cid pleading with Rose while eating crackers to get her not to marry perv asshat for his own tyrannical Rose reasons. You had the funny maid stuff that had a lot of funny moments, and then you had another super in-depth comedically ironic scene of the misfortune of Rose and Cid's misjudgment of presenting the ass. Banging her mom was the perfect mix of disgusting, anger, shock, and just downright hilarious, all wrapped up in one scene. Besides the Denji and Himeno throw-up scene, this might be my favorite throw-up scene in all of anime. And Rose's character hits a climactic point as the Moonlight Sonata is such a damn timeless song that balances and even overshadows all the comedic irony that happens in the arc. You're watching a situation that is actually funny, but the execution of the darkness of what her situation really entails was excellent. She literally has no one except Cid. And Cid, while he wants that tyrannical Rose, he still did his job in getting Rose to decide on what she should do next. Yet a lot of fun, exciting action scenes. We got to see Beta and Epsilon fight as a duo, and we got to see them beat the crap out of Mordred and just emasculate the crap out of him. And you got your typical Shadow versus the last boss cult fight. And of course, what happened at the beginning of this particular arc, you had the same things happen over and over. So Cid is thinking to himself, I need a new Eminence. I need to do something different. And when you hit a wall, it's time to change things up. So where did the twist come into play? Your boy Cid got isekai back into the Minoru world. And this Minoru world is a bit different. It has magic now. And of course, it brought back what I think is a fan favorite character. It's a very, very special character from episode 1, Akane Nishino. So that leaves us with something new, something fresh, a big twist. Wherever it leads to, who knows? But this is a great way to kind of change up the story a little bit, to continually give us something fresh and new to look forward to. If you can't destroy the OP protagonist, you gotta change the world. Or kidnap some people. And you guys can't forget one of the best fillers I ever seen. Of course, you gotta have one of these fillers in the middle of an epic season. With an epic filler, drop the beat for me. Ass titties, ass titties. This arc had everything that we would want. You had fan service, you know, a little story that kind of got all the characters in Shadow Garden to interact with each other. We got to see Zeta, we got to see Ada, we got to see their personalities, and of course, they're out here to sell merch. So yeah guys, that's pretty much in a nutshell what I loved about this season. It built upon everything great about season 1, and now you have a perfect twist at the end that kind of changes up a little bit how we're gonna see this Eminence and Shadow world, with him going back to the Minoru world. So yeah, I would love to know what you guys love most about season 2. There's so many things that is great about this season, and you know, it's really going to be hard to keep topping these seasons, but if it's anywhere in that season 1, season 2 range, I mean, it's going to be fun. If they still keep doing those tropes, but do it a little bit differently, I'll still like that too. But if they could keep us on our toes and do things a little bit that's unpredictable, it will keep this series going on for a lot longer. So I hope to see this be executed in that way. And so yeah, I would love to know what you guys thought about season 2 of the Eminence Shadow. Shout outs to all the haters out there. It is what it is. We're gonna enjoy what we're gonna enjoy. You're not gonna see me hate on other people's opinions though, but I will make fun of you. All right, do me a favor guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Check out my blog at otakusen.com, and I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.